Hey.
What was that?
Mike, you didn't give us a hey.
Oh. Hey! How's that?
You sounded very Sylvester Stallone.
Oh. I look it too.
Hey, Adrian. Just finish it
Adrian.
with an Adrian.
So welcome to Two Dudes Tuesdays, the only podcast to ever survive a cyber phishing attack. Today we have a special guest with us, Mike Nelson, the Mike Nelson.
One and only.
Welcome to the podcast,
Thank you, gentlemen.
King of Kings.
It is
He needs no
great
introduction.
to be with you.
That's the audience.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
So Mike
Those
is
were the groupies.
Mike is a neighbor of mine, longtime listener, like Zach had mentioned, right?
From
right.
the beginning.
Yes.
Day one. He's been with us since the beginning. That's
I
right.
think I've listened to every podcast.
Really?
Really?
Yep.
Dude.
Does it get you pumped like during workouts and stuff?
Yeah. You know, it's usually my pre-workout.
Or is it right as you lay down for bed?
Yeah. 3-hour drive to a fishing hole. Let's go.
There you go.
Does it make you happy about who you are and where you are in life because you're able to compare? Like, dang, I'm doing good.
It's pure comedy and good entertainment.
Yeah. Well, we're glad to have you here. We're excited. And so Mike's a neighbor of mine. We met through my daughter and his daughter becoming friends, and then our families met and we started hanging out, and ever since then it's just been friendships made in heaven. So we brought Mike on today because really he has three specialties that we are going to talk about.
I'm excited to hear what these are.
So number one is your career, right?
Okay.
So early on in your career you were in government, which you've got some pretty cool things that you were able to do with Senior Bush.
Yeah.
And then your second one is your current career, which is cybersecurity.
Yeah.
And then also we might jump into the fact that Mike is an avid pro fisherman.
Ooh, that'll be fun.
Yes. So I've learned some things.
We've had some good times on the river.
Yeah.
On the lake.
Oh, yeah. So tell us a little bit about who Mike Nelson is.
Jeez, I'm your friends. I'm your friend. I'm so happy to be here. Let's see. Who am
Friendly
I?
neighborhood
Well,
cybersecurity expert.
That's right. That's right. Here to secure you. So, yeah. I mean, longtime fan and friend, and I currently am employed by DigiCert, a global leader in cybersecurity.
Oh, and Fortnite buddy.
Yeah,
That's right.
It's interesting you didn't mention that as a fourth, that my skill is so good.
But you're the guy that stays alive when Ben goes right into like four
Yeah,
guys,
that's
and then
because
he's
I'm
like,
hiding.
oh, they were good.
That's because I hide in bushes the whole game.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I got this.
Yeah,
I died.
Yeah. That's
Mike,
common.
stay alive.
That's common. Yeah. So, yeah, I am a little offended you didn't mention that, but
I apologize.
I can get past it. Yeah, so I'm at DigiCert leader in cybersecurity. You know, today the world is more digital than it ever has been, which also means it's more vulnerable to threats. It's a lot of crazy malicious stuff we see out there. And I've been there for about 10 years. It's been a fun run.
Oh, has it been that long?
Yeah, 10 years.
Wow.
10 years in May.
All in that same building?
Yeah. No, we've moved a couple times.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. You guys are in that big building in Lehigh.
Yeah.
And DigiCert is a global product, right?
Yeah.
You go all around. You were in Australia. You were in India.
Yeah. Yeah, we have offices all over the world, customers all over the world.
Denver. You went to Denver.
We have people in Denver. Yes, we do.
Santa Quinn.
Yeah, we're everywhere. So yeah, we're in the space where we play. We're the biggest globally. So we're we're all over the world,
Dude.
Yep.
Booyah.
Little DigiCert from Lehigh, Utah.
That's where it started.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Were you in cybersecurity before that?
So I was in IT. Before I came, I was doing some consulting with a boutique healthcare consulting company called Leavitt Partners, founded by the Michael O. Leavitt, former governor.
Former governor.
Yeah.
Love him. He's a great man.
Do you think we could get him on instead?
Yeah, let's call him actually.
Just kidding.
Michael O's the man. He's a great one. But yeah, I worked with him, did a lot of IT healthcare consulting there. Before that, I was at GE Healthcare building medical devices and software going on medical devices in a partnership they were doing with the Intermountain Healthcare. And then before that, I was in Washington, D.C. working for George W. Bush.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
And we had just found out tonight that Mike has been in the Oval Office.
I was in the Oval Office. Yep. I went there. It's part of the tour. You know, I mean, if you get a tour of the West Wing, you get to see it. But as a political appointee, they let us go in, which is pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
I don't even think they'd let me into Washington, D.C., let alone the Oval Office.
How often were you around the president?
I had a handful of experiences with him. I met him probably 10 times over a 5.5 year time period.
Were you the guy that threw the shoes at him in the interview because you were that close to him?
No, I do have a funny story though about George W. That just shows how good of a dude he is. So I was out there with Mike Leavitt, you know, when he got asked to go out and be on Bush's cabinet. Leavitt took a handful of people from Utah, and I was fortunate enough to be one of them to go out with him. And for the first several years, I just traveled around with him. I'd go out a couple days in advance. They call it advance work, where you go, he's about to go to an event in some city. You go out a few days in advance, get everything set up, get everything ready. He shows up. You're kind of his point man on the ground. And so we were doing that at HHS, and we had a big presidential event with George W. for Medicare, sorry.
Wait, what was his cabinet position?
He was the Secretary of Health and Human Services. So he was the senior diplomat for healthcare in the country.
Gotcha.
So we were doing this big Medicare rollout for Part D. It was a prescription drug thing, and Bush was coming. And so we get there a couple days, event, we get it all set up, and the president's referred to as POTUS, right? So all of his Secret Service and all of his staff are like running around the event. They're like, POTUS is going to be here in 30 minutes. And I'm there with a couple of Leavitt staff, and they're like, you guys got to get out of here. You can't be back here. You don't have clearance. And we're like, we're political appointees at HHS. And they're like, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, where do you want us to go? We need to be here for Leavitt when he gets here. And they're like, go through that door. So we go through the door, and it was a broom closet.
Are you kidding me?
No joke. They put me, two of Leavitt's senior advisors, and our Secret Service in a broom closet. And we're like, I mean, it was probably half the size of this room, which is like 10 by 10, maybe, right? I mean, it's small. So we go in there. The president arrives, Leavitt. We're getting texts from Leavitt like, where are you guys? And they're like, they wouldn't let us out on the premise. He's like, what? We're stuck in a freaking broom closet. So event happens. We're sitting there. We can hear the whole thing. So we know the event's over. And Leavitt's like, tell me where the broom closet is. So we texting him. Next thing we know, door opens. George W.
Really?
And he's like, what the hell are you guys doing in the broom closet? He's like, come on out. He was so nice.
Did he think it was the exit?
Well, that's a great question.
And then he saw you guys.
No, but he sat and chatted with us, thanked us for the work that we did to put the event together, and was super nice.
That's cool.
That is awesome.
Such a good dude.
So being around there, were the stories generally pleasant?
About him?
Yeah. Like from the people all around?
Yeah. I mean, I would tell you, when you meet George W. Bush, you feel like you're the only one
he's talking to
in his radar. Yeah. He is very personable, very genuine, and very lighthearted, right? He's kind of a joker. He just kind of carries a little of that softness with him, which is pretty genuine.
That's
nice. I could see that.
Yeah.
Family Guy makes fun of him all the time.
Yeah.
And it's so funny.
Who doesn't?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Did you see all the videos of him at the inauguration?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he's just great. He's hard not to, but really, he's a good dude.
Wow.
It was awesome to work for him.
When you're in the spotlight and on camera and on audio for that long, that stretch of life, it's inevitable that there's going to be so many sound bites and so many videos to make fun of.
I would be kicked out day 2. Most I'd be gone.
Us would. Yeah.
POTUS HR would be like,
We just had a vegetable that vacated the office, and he stayed in for a very long time.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay, so cybersecurity, right? Do we need to care, your average Joe, or do we just have our iPhones and we're whatever?
Yeah, so it's a great question, and
I have been doing this for 4 months. So.
Yeah. Man, you guys are tough.
Like 18 episodes in at this point.
These are the hard hitting questions. So 22, bro.
Oh,
22.
Dang. See, time's even passed by for me. I don't know where we're at.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is, like, we get asked that all the time. And of course, I mean, we're consulting some of the biggest companies in the world, right?
Yeah.
Operating critical infrastructure, doing stuff that really matters. But like for the average consumer, like I think about my parents, like, does it matter for them? Like most people don't really understand cyber.
Yeah.
Or like the risks. But what I like to think about is like in your regular day in life, like how many interactions do you have with technology?
A billion.
So many.
Right? So it's like today I wake up to Alexa.
Yeah.
I set an alarm with Alexa, so I'm relying on that to wake me up. I roll over, I pick up my phone, I look at my glucose monitor, which is a smart device on my body.
Oh, we can also talk about that.
And then I
glucose
and then
monitors.
my blood sugar's high, so then I dose myself for my connected insulin pump.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I turn on the TV. My TV is smart, so it's connected. I jump in my car. My car has an infotainment system that has a bunch of applications. All of those are being updated wirelessly, right? So my car is connected. Cars today are computers on wheels,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Connected to your phone too.
Yeah, I'm touching my phone every 20 seconds, right? I mean,
Watch.
yeah, like
watch.
everything in our lives today are connected. Heck, I bought a mountain bike last year and like the gears are connected, right? It has a Bluetooth connection to my phone and I can see when the battery of my gear shifter is going to run out of battery.
No kidding.
Oh, wow.
I mean, it's just connectivity is everywhere. And anytime, I mean, all I say is like anything that's connected needs to be secure.
Okay.
Now, there are certain things that clearly are more important than like a gear shifter, right?
Yeah.
So like a nuclear power plant, that's connected. You should probably be secure in that, right? So like we talk about like the priority of it a lot, and really it's most important for critical infrastructure. But as more and more technology makes its way, like if your mom's wearing a connected insulin pump and that thing can get hacked,
Yeah.
you start caring about that stuff.
Well, did you see? I don't remember what show it was. I feel like it was like the Today
Homeland.
Show.
Oh,
No. It was like
Okay.
a interview thing, right?
Okay.
Where the dude hacks into a Tesla, like as it's driving.
Yep.
I remember that, and I'm like, and then you control the Tesla, and you just crash into the
Dude.
wall.
Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah. There was one back in like 2015 where a guy used a high-powered antenna to hack into a Jeep Cherokee. Got into the infotainment system. It had no authentication protection, so he could get right in. Once he was in there, he could turn the windshield wipers on, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Turn the AC on. But then he was able to shut the car off as it was going down the freeway. Can you imagine? Like you're driving your car and all of a sudden it's just like, "Grr!"
Yeah.
Well, like, and it's
crazy.
You, Mike, I can't see you having any enemies, but if you did, and they hacked into that gear shifter, they could downshift hard, and you would go
time.
right over those.
Totally.
The handlebars.
And your
You mentioned the
transmission
show.
out the back.
Yeah, you mentioned the show. Like I said, Homeland. There was a TV show several years ago, Homeland. I don't know. If
I've seen it. Yeah.
Dude, it's such a good show. But there's an episode on there where the vice president has a cardiac device. Cardiac devices are connected. And someone hacks in one of the episodes from Russia.
Ooh.
Yeah. Hacks in and kills the vice president. And now that threat scenario is like real. That can legitimately happen. Now,
And right now we actually have that hacker from Russia. Vladimir, welcome. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's good to be here on your show. I do love a good hack.
yeah. That was good.
And Vladimir, how did you why did you choose Kamala's pacemaker to hack into?
It's really, I just follow the dollars. There was lots of dollars waiting for me after I stop her heart. So yeah, I do it. I press the button and, she gone the next second.
Well, thank you for joining us. Well done.
Thanks for having me. By the way, I am also a day one listener. So thank you for this invaluable content.
Yeah.
Dude, how'd you get him on the podcast?
I've got connections.
I just saw him go jump in Putin's car. Like
Vladimir?
he sent him.
Incredible.
Yeah, that was
Hack
amazing.
his car.
Yeah, hack his car. Yeah. Thank you for being on. All right. Back to Mike.
It's incredible. I just can't. I'm mind blown.
You should see when we invite the Swedes. They're the best.
In fact, yeah, maybe I should make up a sweet story just so you.
We've had, we'll have them on another episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it matters.
yeah, for sure.
It matters.
And I think you told me you focus primarily right now on mobile. Am I right about that? I remember you saying
Mobile's one of our focus areas. We're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're working finance, healthcare, cellular. We're doing water treatment facilities, nuclear power plants, submarines, satellites in the heavens. Like, we're everywhere.
Wow. Yeah, think of Starlink. Like, that stuff's reaching globally,
That's
right?
crazy.
Now, I was just talking to somebody the other day, and like, it used to be really expensive and difficult to have Wi-Fi on a cruise ship. Now it's Starlink, and
Dude, you
easily
can get Starlink on a boat, like your own boat.
Yeah, I mean, you could take it anywhere.
Yeah.
They have the portable Starlink. I just moved off of Starlink and loved it because I live a little bit. We didn't have the infrastructure in my neighborhood, and so just thinking about that, it's everywhere.
Dude, did you see the ad on the Super Bowl about T-Mobile?
Yes, pairing up with Starlink.
Yeah, and they're giving it to everybody for free for what, a month?
Yeah, a
or
few months,
something?
like 3 months.
3 months
to beta.
That's cool.
Yeah, you have satellite. Because when I go to your house sometimes, and I told you this a couple months ago, all of a sudden it said switching to satellite something, and I was like, what the heck is this?
Your phone
My
reception
phone? Yeah, because you know how the
interesting.
phone died, like you lose service in
in the canyon.
Yeah. Well, it switched to like satellite mode or something. I was like, what is this?
That's
I'd never seen it
interesting.
before. But T-Mobile now pairing with them,
That's really cool.
it'd be crazy.
Yeah,
really
that's
cool.
wild. Something I'm curious of, Mike, is what, like, it seems like every day there's some new attack. I mean, that as hard as you guys are working to keep up with it, like there's something new that's on the horizon.
Yep.
How do you keep up with it? How do you
Yeah, I mean,
fight the new stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like most technology, if you're not innovating, you're failing, right? I mean, Ben, you've been.
Oh, write that down.
Yeah.
Listeners, if you're not innovating, you're failing.
Yeah, I mean,
Mike Nelson.
especially in cyber, because things change so rapidly. The power of technology to crack security algorithms and stuff like that. I mean, it's constantly evolving. So if you're not evolving with it, you're dead. And so, a looming threat that everybody's talking about right now is like quantum computers. Like, there was a recent hack or announcement that China officially has a quantum computer. If that's true, everybody is hosed. Because like quantum computers will absolutely destroy all of today's security approaches. Just like in a matter of seconds, they could crack all of today's encryption. And so all of the government secrets, any healthcare, I mean, anything that's encrypted is
Vulnerable.
vulnerable.
Well, but that's
with
what they
quantum
were saying
computers.
about why crypto could crash, right? Because now the Bitcoin hash is actually, you could actually decrypt that hash, and then all of a sudden everybody's Bitcoin is now available.
In China?
You could take it all. Yeah.
So quantum is, but
Isn't Gemini? Isn't the new? I think it's called the new Gemini processor. Wasn't that quantum based?
yeah. So just recently, there's hardware that is quantum resistant. NIST, the National Institutes of Standard and Technology. This is super geeky here stuff, but
Do you guys want to push up your glasses?
earlier this year, NIST released what's known as quantum resistant algorithms.
Wow.
Algorithms that can withstand an attack from a quantum computer. And we've worked with them over the last 7 years to develop those.
That's a government entity?
Yeah, NIST
Okay.
represents the U.S. government. It's
Okay.
kind of a technology, like the brain trust of technology for the U.S. government. And we worked with them it's been about 7 years in development, and they just released them in April of this last year. Those are the only algorithms that will be resistant to that. Now, the follow-up to that was hardware that is quantum, that can leverage quantum keys. And so there's now hardware that claims quantum resistance. And the reason is because they're able to compute a quantum algorithm. Today's hardware, you put a quantum certificate on it with an algorithm that's quantum resistant, most of those will not be able to handle the compute.
So I understand all of this perfectly,
Yeah.
right? But for maybe some of our listeners, I mean, our moms are pretty, not super tech savvy.
I fell out of my high chair when I was a little kid. So
Yeah, I mean,
Explain quantum.
yeah, so it's a superpowered computer, right? So you've got a computer operating right here. That's a standard computer today. Quantum computers are light years ahead, faster, more powerful. They'll be able to crack algorithms in a matter of seconds that would take today's computer literally hundreds to thousands of years.
So it's like we've got Mike's quantum brain, Zach's Apple Macintosh
high
brain,
chair
and
accident.
Ben's Casio standard calculator brain. Actually, that's even pretty impressive. Let's go with like a speak and spell that's broken. There we go.
Yeah.
That spells words wrong.
Are these things like AI driven? Like these quantum computers?
No, they're not.
Self-learning
But they're powerful enough that they'll do AI at new levels.
Okay.
Right? Because they'll be able to process more and do more with them.
crazy.
That's awesome.
But it's, I mean, we don't have them today, but we do believe by 2030 is kind of the timeline that the U.S. government's talking about, that they'll be here, which is, to me, it's not that far.
Not at all.
Yeah. So
That's exciting.
It'll do a ton of cool stuff. I mean, yeah, it has to be secure, but like you think about their ability to like cure diseases,
Yeah.
things that we like problems we can't solve today.
Right. Right.
But like you put those types of challenges in a supercomputer like quantum, like you're going to start solving stuff, which is pretty cool.
Well, there was another commercial on the Super Bowl where they talked about, I felt like it was Pfizer. Maybe it wasn't.
Yeah.
They said they want to, did they say cure 8 cancers
like
or something?
5 very specific types of. Yeah. They had a goal by 2030, something like 2035. Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
It was like 5 major cancer breakthroughs or something, however you define that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Which can change, they'll change 30 times. But whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you go ahead and name one major healthcare company that's ever steered us wrong before or ever said something and didn't do it.
In healthcare, we trust.
Yes.
Right.
Nice. Well,
Especially with Kennedy at the helm. Things are changing.
Oh my gosh, you're never going to believe who just walked in the door.
Kennedy,
We've got
dude.
Kennedy. Hey, we were just talking about you.
Guys, it's a real pleasure to be on the show today.
Thank you for coming. Yes.
It really is my pleasure. My family's been listening. This feels wrong. This feels really wrong.
But it's right. It's right.
One day I want to meet Jordan Peterson, and he interviewed Kennedy, and it was awesome. And if he hears me making fun of him, he's not going to want to meet me.
Hey, there's only one person we don't make fun of on this, and it's our primary sponsor, Tony Fino.
Tony Fino, Mo Bettis.
Yes. You don't talk bad about Tony Fino in this place?
Never.
Love him.
Okay, so
He's the one you got right on the goat conversation.
Yeah, right? Well, oh gosh. Mike has been giving me a lot of trouble about our GOAT, our greatest of all times from Utah.
Utah athlete.
Yeah.
Hashtag 92. Hello, Nada.
Yeah, that's... And we're not saying he's not great, but, there's a lot out there,
You know, it's fun. Like, before you texted that name, I had to search him because I didn't even know who it was.
Because he's defensive tackle, right? I mean,
Yeah.
You don't get all the glory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
5-time Pro Bowler.
But make the biggest
Super
impact.
Bowl winner.
That's crazy. And fishing buddy of yours.
Yeah, I fished with him, yeah.
When did he stop playing?
The year before the Eagles won their last Super Bowl.
Oh, that was only like,
It was
what,
like
15
4 years
or something?
ago. Yeah, I don't know. 5-6 years ago.
Was it that recent?
Maybe it
oh,
was
gosh.
more than that.
No, maybe you're right.
No, I don't know.
That's wild.
It's been a minute.
I had a question.
Okay, let's go.
Because along these lines of like, people need to protect themselves. It's all around us. We're using it every day. Multiple touch points. Like what are the most when you look at like the individual consumer level, what are like the biggest pitfalls that people do every day that put them at risk?
Passwords.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
bad
the
password management.
bad passwords? How do you improve it?
I have like 1,000, and they all...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
yeah.
You
Password
saw?
1, 2, 3. Yeah, I mean, everybody uses the same password, you guys, and it's like it's the easiest thing for hackers to do is to imitate you through a bad password. When they get into an account, it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's simple tools out there like Password One, password keepers that like allow you to securely store them. That's the other problem is like people use the same password for everything.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, no, I don't.
Who would guess my birthday plus a 1?
Exactly.
That sounds
So,
stupid, idiots.
Yeah. So for consumers, it's really passwords. That's where consumers get into problems when they get compromised. And like, if you're using the same password, you get one account compromised, you're hosed on anything else, right? So then you have to go in the effort to go change and update, and it's a mess.
2FA.
Yeah, so always enable two-factor authentication, which just means like you're getting a text, or you're doing a biometric scan or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But store your passwords, rotate your passwords, use unique passwords that are not your birthday or your address. Or
I'll tell you one of my passwords, and you tell me if you think it's good.
Okay, please.
So one of my passwords, my username is my email, and my password is attracted to Mike 646 /
I already knew that was what the password was.
It was before I knew you.
It was so predictable.
So it was a different Mike.
Oh,
but it was you.
Mike? Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I think that's good. Like we always say, use a passphrase.
Oh.
So like think of a phrase and then take the first letter of that phrase.
Yeah.
Because those are easier to remember, right?
Oh,
so
like
it's
that.
like, hey, I love you, Ben Painter.
Yeah, buddy.
Whatever. Like, just because those are harder to guess, right?
Right.
What about the auto-generated passwords?
Yeah, or do that.
They're just inconvenient because if you go,
can't
if
remember
it doesn't,
But
load to your phone the way it does on a browser.
Yeah, but the nice thing is most password keepers, you can get it integrated into your browser, and you can also have it like on your phone. So like when you're going to your bank account, it pulls from your password keeper and you don't have to type it in.
LastPass.
It actually, it makes it easier. And so if you use those
Which got hacked.
consistently,
LastPass did?
yeah,
Yeah, big time.
yeah.
Oh,
Big
crap.
time.
That's why.
Oh, not shout out LastPass.
That's why I recommend Password One. It's a good one.
Holy jeez,
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
That's funny. We went away from LastPass to Password One.
Oh, nice.
My company.
Yeah, it's good. It's good technology, and I have no.
But is it free?
I have a free version of
Okay,
it on my
good,
phone.
because I'm not paying for that. I'd rather be hacked.
No, there's free versions, but that's where consumers get the most. The other thing is just phishing attacks. So like the email I was telling you about before we started. People getting malicious emails that are like, "Hello, I'm a prince from Saudi Arabia, and I have this big investment fund, and I want to share it with you, but you have to." And believe it or not, people fall for that crap. It's
My
crazy.
ancestry DNA test said that I was 0.5% Saudi Arabian.
There you go.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Nice.
are those emails from
No,
you?
it was like Southeast Asia something. It was like a trace. And then we do like an annual update, right? And then it was gone. And I was
Oh.
like, what?
Yeah.
Man.
There was an article that actually came out of Nigeria about a man who died in his apartment, and they found a stack of money. And the first comment on it was, this guy was just trying to give his money away to all these people, and no one would take it. It was so funny. It was so funny.
That's funny. But yeah, phishing is, and when I say phishing, it's not the kind of phishing you and I love.
Yes.
Right? But a phishing is like you have a hacker who's just sending emails to like 100,000 people, hoping that one will be dumb enough to respond. And typically the odds are in their favor on that. You send it to enough, like someone eventually will do it. And phishing emails can look a lot of different things. There can be links. You click on the link and all of a sudden you have malware on your computer. They can be like requests for money, threats like, hey, we know that you're doing this. If you don't, pay us, then we're going to come after you. We're going to release.
And some of those are real though too, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they Anonymous does that they did that to NBC or CBS or one of those. Remember that? Like holding stuff to hack the data. They get it and then they say, hey, we'll release it.
Yeah.
Also-
in healthcare, just quickly on that note, in healthcare, a common one is ransomware, right?
Yes.
So because patient data, you can't treat a patient unless you have access to the data. So what hackers do is they do ransomware where they will get malware on their IT systems, encrypt the data, and it cripples the hospital, and they'll say,
Oh.
until you pay us, we're not going to unlock.
Yeah.
And we've encrypted it. So
Sony. It was Sony.
they can't do it.
That's who it was.
Sony.
And so ransomware is a common one. And those really, like, hospitals pay those regularly because
Jeez.
like they need to be able to provide care to the patients.
Have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the likelihood that we ever get to a point where, is there enough of a footprint when people are doing these attacks that you could actually follow it to the source and do something about it?
In some cases you can, but hackers are pretty good at doing those transactions, doing
Covering
those
their
things.
steps.
Yeah.
And
Well, you just blow it all up, burn it, and move on to the next computer.
yeah.
Yeah. An interesting one is like smart devices. Do you guys have smart home devices like Ring doorbells or security cameras and door locks, smart locks on your door? You know, there's a lot of malicious things you think about. I mean, even like socially engineered hacks. Like I use Alexa at my home, and like if your window's open on a summer afternoon, which I like to do, someone could come up and be like, "Hey Alexa, unlock the front door."
Oh,
Boom!
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, they have access to your house, or open the garage door, right? Alexa doesn't do voice detection, so she'll...
Hey, Alexa, show Ben the last time he got out of the shower.
Yeah, there you go.
I get that all the time.
Yeah, but like, smart home devices, I think, are something we're going to see. We're seeing more hackers turn to like try to take advantage of those. So if you're using those, I think the industry is doing a better job of securing them. But
Well, it's like, what are we going to do? We have one option. Well, two. Either use them or don't.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what else are we going to... So we're just hoping that they're making it as secure as possible.
Yeah.
And also, it's kind of like, as long as you're not getting into our bank or something, then okay. Like, I don't really have anything interesting for you to hack. So...
Yeah, and I do think it's like most people feel that way. I
Yeah.
do too. It's like the advantages of smart devices, like to know if my lights are on in the home or if my garage door is left open. Like, I'll take that all day. Thinking about some hacker out trying to. I'm not.
Especially
nobody's mad at me.
We kind of live in a good place. too.
Yeah, we live in a good place, and so I think that they're less vulnerable, but the threat is real.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where it's not on consumers, I think, to protect those. I think the burden has to be on the manufacturers, those making the devices.
Okay, well, so before, I mean, we still got some time, and I think we got to tell people about mousing because it was the most interesting thing I had heard about.
Shifting gears. And this is
Love it.
cool stuff.
Shifting gears, yeah, and it is, and I keep telling Zach, I'm like, dude, we got to go. I've got some stuff to show you. You could pay Mike. He could take it.
Heck yeah.
So Mike took me fishing. I've fished prior, fly fished, but not a lot. Mike goes like 7 times a week.
You actually had been?
Dude, I had caught plenty of 6-inch fish in my life. Okay. So,
Shocking.
so Mike took me, and our first time we went fishing, he had told me about mousing, which is essentially replicating a mouse falling into the water, and that's what you fish with. And so the first time he took me, you go at night, and you have a glowing line on your reel and rod, and then you also have a custom-made mouse lure. Looks like a little mouse that has a glow tab on its head.
Yep.
And so you hit that with a black light, it glows, and then you fish away, and you just see it go bloop,
Boom.
and hook.
So fun.
Is that like an instinctual thing that fish sit on the shoreline and wait for mice to fall in the water and then gobble them up?
Yeah, I mean, the idea behind it is that when you're out doing it, you're fishing for big fish.
Okay.
Right? I've caught plenty of smaller fish on mice too, but like the idea is that big fish hide in the day and they come out and feed at night. And when they feed, they're not looking for little teeny flies. They're looking for something that's going to fill their belly. And it's common practice for mice to go down to the water, take a little drink. Sometimes they fall in, boom. That's food for a fish, a big fish.
Because you taught me, and as we fish, we're fishing the bank.
Yeah,
So
smacking on the bank.
yeah, we're not fishing like the center of the river, the rapid spot. It's like Mike is always like, closer to the bank, close to the bank.
So it is instinctual.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, and trout are predators. So like they'll even just attack it because it's a threat.
okay.
But I do think most of the eats that you get they're going for food. It's like
That's cool.
Something's in the water, it's big, it's moving. They're going to go check it out and if it has a tail that's wiggling, they're like, that's dinner.
Yeah.
And they just crush. And you've seen it, man.
Dude, it's so fun because you just see this little floating little tab, you know, and you throw it upriver. And so we're in waders and we're walking, you know, upriver.
Yeah.
And typically kind of towards the middle, and then we just fish the sides. And yeah, you just throw it out there, you see it floating along, and then all of a sudden just whoop, and it disappears. And oh dude, it is a riot. Yeah.
The line starts just ripping. And
Yeah.
Ben caught a big one. One of the first times we went, dude, you landed that.
No, but I hooked its back.
Yeah, that's common. So
Hey,
like
that
they'll come
happens.
up, they'll check it out, and sometimes they'll hit it. Sometimes as they're swimming away, the hook gets them.
And it
set
took
it in the
off,
fin.
dude.
But
And
he ran him 100 yards
yeah,
downriver.
Yeah. Yeah,
That was like a 20, 21
9.
inch, 29 inch. It was a chunky
I mean,
brown.
it was 36 is it was where it was. Yeah.
Pretty average. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
30,
But it's
my
fun.
average.
It takes an obsession though. It takes like you've got to be committed to go out at night like that.
Dude, it's so fun. He's taken me in when there's like ice, like the river has like ice on it, and we've walked through there up in Heber, and we've gone during the day on his boat. So he has a little boat that's like 4 rivers, and he's paddling, and I'm on the front fishing.
Cool. I'm just swearing at him the whole time. You
Closer to the bank.
You've done this before? You suck, man. Yeah, dude. How many times do I yell? Closer
It's
to the
exciting.
bank.
It's just
so
exciting.
fun.
It's super fun.
Yeah.
The boat's fun.
A boat is fun. But yeah, Mike is like, throw right there, and then you catch one. Well,
That's awesome.
you're supposed to.
awesome.
But, you know, yeah.
If you get it close enough to the bank,
Yeah.
you definitely do.
Or
the
if you
key.
can lay it down clean instead of this splash like you just threw a boulder in there.
Right. But dude, you just got some new gear.
I did Christmas gear. I'm so stoked.
Have you held the rod yet? Have you?
I
pulled
put it
out?
all together. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it was fun.
Any other types of fishing you do? You fly fish, and then there's mousing. Do you ever like ice fishing, anything like that?
Yeah, so mousing is a form of fly fishing, right? You're doing it with a fly rod. Ben and I have been talking about ice fishing. I think it sounds, I mean,
Chill.
heck, I loved the idea of just going up into like a little tent, put on a heater. sit
Dude, you
with
could
your
do
buddies.
a podcast from a tent,
Oh, it would be
like
so
while
fun.
ice fishing.
So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna do that once before the end of the winter. You should
you
come
go.
with us, Zach.
Seen the rods? They're like this long. They're like
Yeah.
a foot
Oh,
long.
yeah.
And you just drop it in and
Kind
dude,
of more
sit
Ben
back
style, you know?
sit back in your chair and chillax
Yeah.
Yeah,
That sounds fun.
with a pizza
yeah.
and Fortnite.
And when we go with we've taken our girls up too.
Yeah.
And we do spinner rods and stuff with them because it's easier to cast.
Yeah.
Dude, Mike took me with an actual Strawberry Lake Pro or Strawberry Reservoir.
Oh, dude, how
is it,
fun was
is it
that?
a lake?
Yeah, lake.
And he took me up there and we went with this dude.
Just knows that lake really well.
Yeah. It was so fun. He had pictures on his site and stuff of these massive fish. And he was just teaching us all about it. The river was like the lake was half ice. So it was really fun.
Dude, that was so fun. And the chance, like, I mean, he's catching big fish.
Big fish, yeah.
And we had a couple come up and look that went back down. It was like,
They saw
that's a big
they
fish.
saw our faces and they were like, that's got to be a trick.
It was
Ew.
so fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
good stuff, man.
But yeah, you definitely got to try it. It's just a blast. I'd love it.
Yeah, you're in a good place too. You got a lot of good water out by where you live.
Is there?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the Spanish Fork River seems murky,
it
muddy.
always is. Nobody fishes it,
Oh, okay.
but there's big browns in there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I drove past the bridge the other day, and one of my neighbors was out there fishing it in the snow.
Oh, cool.
And like, yeah, I was curious what's in there and how he does. I'll have to ask him.
Then you
Dude,
got
yeah.
Diamond Fork Canyons, right?
Oh,
Up
yeah.
Spanish Fork.
Yep.
Diamond Fork has some great fishing.
Where's Diamond Fork?
3 miles up from
It
where
doesn't exist.
Yeah. Do you, does it?
Your mom's the only one listening, right?
Yeah.
other side of the country, I think, over there in the Appalachians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's halfway
I
up.
was sitting there thinking, I was like, how do you get to the other side of the country?
It's halfway up Spanish Fork.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're right on the river. That'd be a blast.
Got to get into it.
I did. There's a Utah fishing groups in Facebook that like I've gone in and asked questions about that river before.
You gotten responses?
Yeah, like people, if they fish that river, it seems like they fish it way further in, you know, like away from the mouth and further up the river.
Yep.
But you're right, like people don't really fish it.
Yeah, it's best the mile below where Diamond Fork flows in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's kind of where. That's the sweet spot.
I heard the good spot was right under the busy bridge
Or Thistle.
coming out.
Thistle is a nice little town. Yeah.
There's a river through there too that holds
Okay.
fish. I'm not going to tell you the name of it.
Yes.
Really small fish from what I've heard.
Siberia.
The type you would use as bait.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, I think we've hit our time, but man, the man of many talents. So great to have you on.
myth,
So fun.
the
Thanks for
legend.
having me.
Always a smile. And even though you're so incredibly tired right now, you still persevered. Skiing all day and then to the gym and then here. I mean, come on. Oh, is your work not supposed to know you were skiing today?
That was we're good.
Mike is the boss. He doesn't do that.
Yeah.
No, we're good.
Yeah. So any last shout outs or things you'd want to say to our massive audience?
No.
Manage
Just,
those passwords.
Yeah. Just embrace technology. It's good.
And fishing.
And fish less. Leave the rivers to Ben and I.
Yeah, fish. Yeah, don't fish. Don't fish.
It's not that fun.
It sucks.
Zach, you got any final thoughts? I feel like
No, man, this has been good. That's super interesting stuff. I've enjoyed it both on the fishing front and on the PH fishing front. So
There you go. That was a good tie-in.
yeah, there you go.
okay. Well, Arnold Schwarzenegger here to send us off.
Dude.
Arnold, thanks for the send. Okay, wow, you're here to.
And he's
close up.
shirtless.
I like. I almost went Russian. He's German, but it's not like the German. Yeah, he's Austrian. Let's see.
Thank you for having me on the show. This has been very informative.
And
And my password will no longer be
What's your favorite
flex
password?
the pecs pound 123.
no, I'm saying
I love my
end the
nanny.
show.
Those are my closing remarks.
Yeah, but the saying.
And if I don't see you,
You sound like Gru. Unless it's a boy, a girl.
if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.